Chosen one, there comes a moment on your spiritual path where something shifts inside you. It's not rage, it's not rebellion, it's realization. You wake up one day and realize your energy is sacred. You stop over-explaining. You stop begging for reciprocity. You stop showing up where you're not honored. That's not you being cold. That's you remembering who you are. Because when a chosen one goes full savage mode, it's not about destruction. It's about alignment. It's the moment your soul stops seeking external validation and returns to its divine frequency. So let's go deep into what truly happens when you, the chosen one, go full savage mode, spiritually, energetically, and quantumly. 1. You detach emotionally. Chosen. 1. There comes a sacred moment in your awakening when you stop fighting for understanding and start resonating with peace. The version of you that once over-explained, overgave, and overcared begins to dissolve. Not because you've stopped feeling, but because you've finally learned to feel with wisdom. When you go full savage mode, detachment becomes your divine armor. It's not rebellion, it's revelation. It's the moment you realize your energy doesn't belong in every room, your truth doesn't require validation, and your peace doesn't need permission. When you go full savage mode, something inside you clicks, and suddenly you stop reacting and start observing. You stop being the emotional responder to chaos, and you start becoming the silent witness of your own evolution. You no longer chase validation, attention, or explanations. You no longer try to convince anyone to see your worth, because deep within, you know that your worth is not up for negotiation. The truth is, your detachment isn't numbness. It's clarity. It's your soul remembering that peace is your original state, and drama is just the illusion. When you emotionally detach, your energy field begins to recalibrate. You shift from the dense vibration of need and dependency into the quantum frequency of self-sufficiency. Your aura strengthens. Your mind clears. You begin to operate from neutrality, the highest frequency of spiritual mastery. In that space, you no longer chase love, you become it. You no longer defend your peace, you embody it. The very energy you used to spend explaining yourself now amplifies your power. The people who once fed off your reactions are now starving for your energy, because your silence no longer entertains chaos. That's the paradox of emotional detachment. When you no longer give power to what drains you, your spirit expands beyond limitation. Your silence becomes your sermon. Your stillness becomes your statement. And your absence speaks louder than any presence that ever tried to control you. This is emotional mastery. This is spiritual sovereignty. This is the moment you remember. Peace isn't passive, it's powerful. On a quantum level, detachment rewires your frequency. Every emotional reaction you release frees up energetic bandwidth for creation, intuition, and manifestation. You're no longer trapped in the gravitational pull of others' emotions. You're orbiting in your own divine field. This is when you start magnetizing abundance, effortlessly, because your energy is finally yours again. Remember, the universe mirrors your emotional vibration. When you radiate calm certainty, life bends to that stillness. When you detach from outcomes, you align with divine timing. That's why detachment is not the death of emotion, it's the birth of mastery. Chosen one, when you detach emotionally, you're not losing connection, you're gaining consciousness. You're not going cold, you're becoming clear. You're not walking away from love, you're walking toward truth. And that truth is simple. Your peace is sacred. Your silence is strength. Your energy is divine property. and not everyone is qualified to access it. So stand tall in your stillness. Speak only when your spirit feels moved, and let your silence echo louder than any chaos that once demanded your reaction. Because in your calm, the universe hears your command. Comment below. My silence speaks the language of peace and power. 2. You set ruthless boundaries. Chosen one. There comes a time in your awakening where you realize your peace is not negotiable. You've spent lifetimes giving, forgiving, and explaining yourself to those who were never meant to understand your frequency. But when you go savage mode, something shifts. You stop seeking approval. You stop trying to make others comfortable at the expense of your own energy. You stop asking people to respect you and start commanding it through your vibration. Because true power doesn't speak loudly, it radiates quietly. And that's when you begin to understand. Boundaries are not walls. They are energetic filters. When a chosen one sets boundaries, it's not about cutting people off. It's about cutting off interference. Your soul knows when an energy is draining your life force. Boundaries are your way of telling the universe, I'm ready to evolve. I'm no longer available for what dishonors my spirit. You stop explaining your worth because you finally embody it. You no longer beg for respect because your energy already commands it. And you stop negotiating your peace just to avoid temporary discomfort. Because you've learned that avoiding conflict creates long-term chaos within your soul. When you start setting ruthless boundaries, people will say you've changed, and they'll be right. You've changed from self-sacrifice to self-sovereignty. You've shifted from pleasing others to protecting your purpose. The more you honor your own energy, the more the universe honors you in return. In quantum terms, boundaries are not just emotional, they are vibrational structures. Every time you say no to misaligned energy, you are sending a frequency signal to the universe that says, I choose alignment. I choose expansion. I choose peace. That signal rearranges your quantum field. Your energy grid strengthens, your aura becomes denser with light, and your timeline begins to attract only what vibrates in harmony with your soul's mission. Each no you speak creates a quantum yes somewhere else. A yes to your purpose, a yes to divine timing, a yes to aligned love, and a yes to the life that truly matches your frequency. So understand this deeply. Boundaries don't block blessings. They filter them. They remove distortion so only truth, love, and abundance can reach you. As you step into this new frequency, you'll notice a strange peace. You'll walk away from situations that once triggered you, not because you don't care, but because you finally do. You'll stop trying to fix people who refuse to evolve. You'll stop explaining your intuition to those who are committed to misunderstanding it. You'll move differently, with calm confidence. Your silence will hold authority. Your no will echo with divine clarity. And the most powerful part, you'll do it all without guilt, because you understand now, protecting your energy is not selfish, it's sacred. You can't pour light into a world that keeps trying to drain your source. You can't raise the vibration of others if you're constantly lowering your own to keep the peace. Your boundaries are not against people. They're for your soul. This is what it means to go savage mode as a chosen one. It's not about aggression. It's about precision. It's not about shutting people out. It's about letting your higher self choose who gets in. The old you would have tolerated disrespect, absorbed pain, and made excuses for energy that dimmed your light. The new you see through it instantly. You cut cords not in anger, but in awareness, because you finally understand. Peace isn't found by avoiding conflict. It's found by ending it where it begins. Chosen one, your boundaries are not punishment. They are protection. They are the walls of your sacred temple, ensuring only truth enters your space. The moment you decide to stop lowering your vibration to meet others, you rise into your divine power, and everything that's meant for you starts rising to meet you. So never apologize for protecting your peace. Never feel guilty for removing access to your energy, because your peace is your proof that you've awakened. Your boundaries are your blessings. They are your declaration of divine sovereignty. Comment below. My boundaries are my blessings. I protect my energy with love and power. Your energy turns magnetic. Chosen one. There comes a moment on your spiritual journey when something profound happens. You stop chasing and things begin to chase you. It's not luck. It's not coincidence. It's energetic alignment. You've stopped pouring into people who take without gratitude. You've stopped explaining yourself to those who were never meant to understand you. And when that happens, your energy shifts from leaking to leading. This is when your energy turns magnetic. You start to radiate a frequency that calls in everything meant for you. Love, opportunities, divine connections, effortlessly. Let's go deep into the spiritual and quantum science behind this transformation. When you stop pouring into the ungrateful and start conserving your sacred life force, something extraordinary happens inside your energy field. Your vibration begins to intensify. Your light grows stronger, purer, and more coherent. And suddenly, the world starts to notice you differently. You glow differently. You move differently. You walk into a room, and even in silence, your energy speaks. You no longer chase, because the frequency of your aura now attracts. You've shifted from a lower vibration of seeking to a higher vibration of being. Before this shift, your energy was fragmented. You gave too much to people, situations, and emotions that didn't reciprocate. Every act of overgiving, every moment of people-pleasing was an energy leak. But once you become aware of this, you start to close those leaks. You stop explaining your worth. You stop overextending your kindness. You stop showing up where your spirit isn't respected. And what happens next is quantum. All that energy that was once diffused outward now begins to circulate within you. Your frequency amplifies, like a magnetic field, becoming stronger through focus and coherence. The moment you turn inward, your energy becomes radiant, powerful enough to bend reality around your intention. Quantum physics reveals that energy flows where attention goes. Whatever you focus on expands, not just mentally, but energetically. When your focus is scattered on others, your vibration weakens. But when you redirect that focus inward, on your healing, your purpose, your peace, your aura starts to expand outward on its own. You become a living frequency of alignment. You no longer need to chase manifestations. They begin to orbit around your energy field. You start attracting experiences that match your inner coherence. It's not magic, it's magnetism. You are operating from the quantum law of resonance, like attracts like. Your inner frequency determines your outer reality. And now, yours has become divine. You intimidate not because you changed, but because you stopped dimming. When this shift happens, people start to react differently. Some admire you, others withdraw, and that's okay. It's not that you've become intimidating, it's that your energy is no longer accessible. You stopped shrinking your light to make others comfortable. You stopped apologizing for your power. And now, your vibration exposes the truth in others. Their insecurities, their projections, their unhealed shadows. You are no longer resonating with their frequency. And that creates distance, not because of arrogance, but energetic incompatibility. This is the essence of spiritual sovereignty. You are no longer defined by reactions. You are guided by resonance. You attract not through effort, but through embodiment. Your energy becomes your message, your aura, your signature. And that energy can't be faked. Chosen one. When your energy turns magnetic, your whole reality begins to rearrange. What's not aligned falls away, and what's meant for you appears with divine precision. This is what happens when you stop leaking energy through overgiving, self-doubt, or fear, and start honoring your divine frequency. The universe responds to vibration, not words. And your new frequency says, I am enough. I am radiant. I am aligned. So don't chase, don't explain, don't dim, simply become. Because what's meant for your light will always find its way home to you. Comment below, my energy is magnetic. My frequency is divine. 4. You stop saving everyone. Chosen one. Before you stepped into your power, your heart led you to believe that saving others was your purpose. You felt responsible for everyone's healing, their peace, their awakening, their happiness. You poured your energy into fixing broken souls, mending shattered hearts, and lighting up paths for those who refused to walk. You gave and gave until your own flame began to flicker, and yet they took and never truly saw the light within you. But then something changed, a divine shift. You awakened to a sacred truth. Not everyone deserves access to your light. This is the moment you stop saving everyone. Because true mastery isn't about rescuing others. It's about rising so high in your vibration that your very presence becomes a transmission of healing for those ready to receive it. You realize not everyone is ready for the light. You once thought that if you just loved harder, forgave more, and gave endlessly, people would awaken. But what you didn't realize is that light can't save those who are addicted to the dark. Every soul has its divine timing. Every journey has its own rhythm. And when you interfere out of guilt or attachment, you disrupt divine order. You delay their growth and drain your own. This realization humbles you. You stop forcing people to change, and instead, you surrender them to their lessons. Because some awaken through your love, and others awaken through your absence. And that's not cruelty, that's clarity. It's divine detachment, the highest form of compassion. Comment below, I trust divine timing. Not everyone is meant to rise with me. You honor divine order, not emotional obligation. When you stop saving everyone, you start flowing with the universe instead of fighting against it. You realize healing isn't about control. It's about alignment. Your soul begins to understand that your role isn't to interfere with karma, but to honor divine orchestration. Sometimes, people must fall before they rise. Sometimes, they must lose your energy to find their own. And so you let go, not from anger, but from wisdom. You release the urge to fix, to explain, to convince, because you finally trust the higher plan that governs every awakening. In the quantum field, this surrender shifts your frequency instantly. Your vibration becomes lighter, freer, clearer, and the universe responds with new alignments that match your liberated energy. Comment below, I no longer fight divine order. I flow with it. You become a lighthouse, not a lifeboat. You used to jump into people's storms, trying to rescue them. But you'd always end up drowning with them. Now, you've learned to stand tall on your rock of light, shining steadily through the chaos. You don't chase. You don't beg. You don't lower your frequency to be understood. Instead, You become the example. You embody the healing. You stand in your truth so powerfully that those truly ready for transformation are guided toward you effortlessly. Because a lighthouse doesn't swim out to save ships, it simply shines. And that is the ultimate form of spiritual leadership. You inspire through energy, not effort, through vibration, not validation. Comment below, I am the lighthouse, I shine, I don't chase. Your energy becomes refined and potent. When you stop scattering your energy trying to fix others, your vibration becomes concentrated, pure source energy. You begin to attract divine opportunities, soul connections, and abundance that align with your new frequency. You feel lighter, stronger, and more magnetic than ever. Your intuition sharpens. Your manifestations accelerate. Because now, every ounce of energy you use to spend on others' lessons is returned to your own evolution. The universe rewards clarity, and when you decide that your light will no longer be diluted, you step into quantum acceleration. Everything starts flowing faster, easier, smoother, because you're no longer trying to swim in someone else's current. Comment below. My energy is sacred. I invest it in my evolution. You redefine love as freedom, not rescue. You finally understand, love isn't about fixing people. It's about freeing them. True love holds space, not chains. It trusts the process, even when it's painful to watch. It knows that every soul must awaken through its own timeline and pain, not yours. So you release the savior complex. You release guilt. You release attachment. You love without losing yourself. You guide without grasping. And that's when you step into divine neutrality, the space where compassion and boundaries coexist. Comment below, I love with freedom, not rescue. 5. You choose peace over drama. Chosen one. There comes a sacred point in your awakening when you stop fighting battles that no longer serve your evolution. You no longer crave to be understood by everyone because you finally understand yourself. That's when you enter your savage peace era, where silence is your strategy, where alignment becomes your weapon, and where peace, not war, defines your power. You realize that drama, arguments, and emotional chaos are energetic traps designed to keep you vibrating below your divine frequency. But when you choose peace, you transcend the noise. You reclaim the throne of your own vibration. Let's go deep into what it really means on a spiritual and quantum level when you choose peace over drama. In savage mode, peace becomes your ultimate form of power. It's not passive, it's potent. You no longer feel the need to win arguments or convince anyone of your truth, because truth doesn't require validation. It simply is. You realize that every time you engage in drama, you leak energy. Every time you over-explain, you hand over your power. Every time you try to prove your worth, you vibrate in lack. Because divine energy doesn't chase, it radiates. Now, you walk away glowing, because you've learned that your silence echoes louder than any defense could. You let karma and divine timing handle what your ego once tried to control. That's not avoidance. That's energetic mastery. From a quantum standpoint, when you release resistance, your energetic field shifts from chaos to coherence. Your vibration stabilizes, your aura strengthens, and your frequency becomes a clear signal to the universe. Drama, gossip, arguments, they all create turbulence in your energy field. But peace aligns your particles into harmony. It magnetizes blessings, synchronicities, and clarity effortlessly. Because the universe does not respond to your words, it responds to your vibration. And a peaceful vibration is the highest form of command. When you let go of needing to control outcomes, You enter flow state, a space where manifestation becomes natural, not forced. You stop swimming against the current and start moving with the divine current of life. This is where miracles unfold, not through striving, but through surrender, because you've stepped out of noise and into knowing. When you choose peace, your energy becomes so balanced that it naturally filters who can and cannot reach you. Those who feed off chaos, confusion, or conflict can no longer access your vibration. You'll notice they start to distance themselves or they fall silent. Not because you pushed them away, but because your frequency upgraded. You became too aligned for misaligned energy to dwell in your field. Peace becomes your spiritual firewall, an invisible protection that keeps your frequency sovereign. And while the world still moves in noise, you move in grace. You understand now, silence is not absence, it's alignment. Peace is not weakness, it's wisdom. It's the wisdom of the soul that has learned that not every battle is worth your energy. Not every insult deserves your attention. And not every situation requires your reaction. Peace is the language of the divine, a vibration that only the awakened can hear. When you choose peace, you align directly with Source. You become the calm in the storm, not the storm itself. The world feels your stillness, even when you say nothing, because true power never announces itself. It simply is. Chosen one. When you choose peace over drama, you ascend into your higher self. You become untouchable, not because you hide, but because you vibrate too high to be touched. Peace is not the end of your journey. It's the evidence that you've mastered it. It's the frequency of those who no longer chase, no longer react, no longer explain. They simply exist in truth. And in that truth, miracles align, divine protection surrounds you, and the universe begins to conspire in your favor. So walk in silence, move with grace, and let your peace speak louder than your pain ever could. Comment below, "Peace is my power. I release drama and rise higher." Chosen one. When you go full savage mode, you are not becoming heartless. You are becoming whole. You're not rejecting others. You're returning to your authentic vibration. You've stopped being a victim of energy and started commanding it. You've remembered that your light was never meant to be dimmed to fit into other people's shadows. You are divine consciousness in motion, and your savage mode is sacred. So let the world call it cold. You know it's clarity. Let them call it ruthless. You know it's realignment. Because when you protect your energy, you protect your purpose. And when you honor your peace, the universe honors you.